Siyanda Mhlahlo is preserving African culture through fashion. The co-founder of the Pex Lifestyle creates clothing from the iconic fabric of the traditional shawl, which celebrates Sotho people. The brand represents hope with the catchy and functional tagline, "Hang in there." He joins us now this morning to share more on his work and how his designs celebrate his culture. A very good morning to you, Siyanda. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning to the viewers at home.
Well, I have a feeling that we're going to have a very, great and interesting conversation with regards to your designs. I mean, what really inspires your designs and the fabric that you use?
The inspiration comes from the preservation of the culture and celebrating the culture. And mostly importantly for us, it was about to start a conversation around identity, Africanism amongst our peers, especially the youth. And we understood that the young people understand the language of fashion because that's what they can resonate and relate with. So we wanted to trigger their minds. And when they see those fashion items, it reminds them their grandmothers, so that it triggers the values that they have been instilled, such as respect, dignity, ubuntu. So those are the things that we wanted to drive beyond the actual fashion.
I mean, I'm just looking at the blanket behind you, which you're seated on. I mean, almost every household used to have that blanket. I mean, my family had that blanket, and it has become such an iconic blanket for all households. But then, how then were you able to transform that into a fashion statement?
So, one thing that we did, fortunately for me, I was doing a dissertation during my varsity years where I did a study on need for uniqueness around clothing brands in South Africa. And one most interesting thing that came out of that study is that people avoid similarity and people want things that they can resonate and relate to. At the time, there were little or no brand in South Africa that they were catering for that. And we went to an extent where we did focus groups with all people because we didn't want to just do stuff from our head and from a theoretical perspective of that research. So we went and sit down with the elders in Makaya just to understand what does this mean? Is it acceptable for us to use it during with fashion? And they were more happy for us to use it because they understood that the value that we were adding and the conversation that we were driving around the youth. And it has been iconic because, as you just said to me, that almost every home in South Africa, because it's not only for Sotho people, it's also for Nguni people, and it varies with colors. So the Sothos and the Tswana people will go for the blue one. The Ngunus will go for the brown and this one at the background. So it also varies with colors, and every culture or every tribe in South Africa has that special relationship with this shawl.
And you've made a cap out of the fabric of that iconic blanket. How creative can that be? Now, what skills were necessary to ensure that you had a quality product and a well-run business? So,
very important is production. Fashion production is one of the most critical thing, and design. So, I'm having my partner Ayanda currently. So, Ayanda is like, his expertise comes from the design and creative side of things, and I come from the commercial side of things. So when you put us together, we make a great team. So it's like a bomb because this guy will come up with crazy ideas, things that have not been done, and we want to translate those things, and I come and package them with the help of the team also. So, like, for me, the skills that needed, especially for the creative side of things, you need to be arty, you need to see things beyond, you need to be a visionary, you need to be a thinker outside of the box. And from the commercial perspective, you need to know your market, you need to understand the people that you are trying to communicate to. For the longest time, we've been communicating to the wrong people at some point, and it was discouraging because the rejection were amounting. And for us was like, this is not happening. The thing that we did on the research is not translating into the actual thing that we are running in the market. Only to find out we spend too much time communicating to the wrong target audience until 2018, where we started to communicate to the right people, the likes of Black Folk. We started to notice us, the Questers of this world, and all other influential people started to come. Even the then finance minister invited us to the budget speech, because now we were understanding what we stand for, and we didn't compromise, and we didn't want to dilute that story for us. We were like, let's package this story and send it to the right people. The rest will catch up later, because this is not a fast fashion pace.
Yeah. You know, I quite take your point that you need to be a thinker, you need to think outside of the box, and, you know, you need to know your market. And having said that, there is great difficulty, Siyanda, in ensuring customers do buy your products, and especially with a fashion business. So how do you tackle this issue?
It's very difficult one, to be honest, and you need just to be patient, as I've been saying, because this is a long game. This is not just a fast pace. You need to understand that you are in it for the long time, and your time will come. And you need to you need to have a group of people that understand the vision. You need to always speak that vision to them. You need to increase your network. You need to have the network of people that can connect you to the right market, to the right partnership, to the right stakeholders. And entire value chain needs to understand your vision, from where you source the material to where you sell the actual finished product. So you need to understand the whole value chain from the start to the end, and have a good relationship with the people within your value chain. Because once the relationship is broken within the value chain, it's going to be difficult for the customers to buy into your product, because they can sense that there's no need even within the company or in the value chain itself.
And what has been the biggest hurdle you faced running your business? How did you overcome it? And just how important was it for you to manufacture proudly South African fashion wear?
So the biggest hurdle for us, which has been around sourcing the material. It's been around the material, and we have overcome that by through networking. And currently we have a great relationship with the only blanket manufacturer in Southern Africa, the biggest one, the oldest one. And the relationship is well now, because once you have that back end sorted, it's simple then to translate it to the customers. And another thing that the biggest hurdle that we have faced recently due to COVID-19, it's the store being closed, the store that we own here in Newtown. And COVID-19 showed us flames. It showed us flames. Definitely, we had to adapt. We had to be agile. We had to prototype fast. We had to rethink our processes. We have to change a lot of things, which was for us a frustrating process, because we are used to this slow-paced design process. Now we need to change to fast-paced, because we're dealing with mass now. We're dealing with mass which require quantity. And this is not our expertise. So we are trying to change everything from scratch, and also setting up of the online business, because we are so much of the interaction brand. We want people to feel, the comfort, to feel the design. But now we are dealing in a virtual space where people cannot feel, but they can only see your things from far. So you need to package that also. So it has been, we have learned a lot during this period about us and our capabilities as a team, and how much can we do with what we have.
Okay. All right. Siyanda, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning, man. We absolutely love your creativity and your ingenuity. You certainly have shown that opportunity starts in the mind. Thank you so much for that. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you.
Sure thing. We just spoke to Siyanda Mhlahlo on his fashion wear and producing proudly South African clothing. It is